I'm 82 years old, and I've spent 60 years capturing other people's precious moments. Weddings, births, first steps, graduations. I thought I understood what mattered. I was wrong. Because while I was busy making memories for everyone else, I forgot to live my own. And the one photograph I should have taken, the one that mattered most, I never pressed the shutter. I'm 82 years old, and I've spent 60 years capturing other people's precious moments. Weddings, births, first steps, graduations. I thought I understood what mattered. I was wrong, because while I was busy making memories for everyone else, I forgot to live my own. And the one photograph I should have taken, the one that mattered most, I never pressed the shutter. I had my camera ready that Sunday morning. The light was perfect, falling just right across my grandson's face as he built his first sandcastle. I never pressed the shutter. I was waiting for him to look up, to smile just right. That was the last time I saw him happy. I'm 82 years old. I've been a photographer for 60 years. I've captured weddings, births, graduations, the moments people pay me to freeze in time so they can remember them forever. I thought I understood what mattered. I was wrong about everything. That Sunday was in July, 3 years ago. My daughter Kate had brought Tommy to the beach for what she called a family day. She didn't tell me then that she and David were getting divorced. She didn't tell me they'd already decided Tommy would move to Portland with David. She just said, "Dad, would you like to come to the beach with us?" I brought my camera. Of course I brought my camera. I always brought my camera. The beach was crowded, but we found a quiet spot near the dunes. Tommy was 7 then, still at that age where building sandcastles mattered more than looking cool. He had my intensity, my focus. When he decided to build that castle, nothing else existed. I watched him through my viewfinder. The morning light was extraordinary, that golden hour photographer's chase. It caught the concentration on his face, the way his tongue poked out slightly when he was working hard. His hair was still messy from sleep, and there was sand already smudged on his cheek. Perfect, I thought. This will be perfect. But I didn't take the picture. Not yet. I was waiting for the right moment, the exact moment. I've spent 60 years learning that the difference between a good photograph and a great one is patience. Timing, waiting for that split second when everything aligns. Tommy was building the tower, his small hands carefully packing the sand. I had my finger on the shutter, ready. Just look up, I thought. Just look at me and smile. But he didn't look up. He was lost in his work, completely absorbed, and I kept waiting. Kate was sitting on the blanket behind me, reading a book. I could hear other families around us, children laughing, waves washing against the shore, normal beach sounds, a normal Sunday morning, the kind of moment I'd photographed 1,000 times for other families. Tommy finished his tower and started on a wall. The light was still perfect. My camera settings were perfect. I just needed him to pause, to give me that look, that smile, the kind of expression that tells a story. I waited. He worked for maybe 20 minutes, completely focused, building his castle with the seriousness of an architect. Every few minutes I'd think, this is it, and I'd adjust my position, check my settings, prepare for the shot. But something was always slightly off. His angle, the light on his face, a piece of seaweed in the background. "Tommy," I finally said softly, "can you look at Grandpa for a second?" He glanced up, but not really at me, not at the camera. His attention was already back on his castle. He was proud of what he'd built, eager to keep working. I could have taken that picture, should have taken that picture. But it wasn't the shot I had in my mind. It wasn't the perfect moment I was waiting for. 20 minutes later, Kate called us for lunch. Tommy stood up, brushed the sand off his hands, and ran toward the blanket. The moment was over. The light had changed. The castle would be gone by evening, swept away by the tide. I never got the photograph. 3 weeks later, Kate told me about the divorce. Tommy would be moving to Portland with David. It was already decided. David had a job there, a fresh start. Tommy would visit during summers, maybe Christmas. "It's better this way," Kate said. "Less conflict." I thought about that Sunday morning, about the castle Tommy built with such care, knowing it would disappear, about how completely present he'd been, how focused on the moment, while I had been focused on capturing the moment. Tommy moved in August. He's 10 now, and he does visit during summers. But it's different. He's different, older, more cautious. The divorce hit him hard, the way it hits all children. That pure concentration I saw at the beach, that innocent absorption in building something beautiful, it's gone. Last summer when he visited, I tried to recreate that day. I took him to the same beach, brought my camera, but he spent most of the time on his phone, texting friends back in Portland. When he did build in the sand, it was half-hearted, distracted. He's growing up, moving away from the things that once captivated him completely. I took pictures that day, plenty of them, but they were just pictures, documentation of a visit, not windows into his soul. I've been a photographer my whole adult life. I know about decisive moments, about Henri Cartier-Bresson's philosophy that there's one perfect instant when all the elements align. I've built a career on that belief. But I've learned something in these last 3 years. The decisive moment isn't always about the camera. Sometimes the decisive moment is about putting the camera down. That Sunday morning, while I was waiting for the perfect shot, Tommy was living the perfect moment. He was completely present, completely absorbed in his creation. He wasn't performing for the camera or waiting for my approval. He was just being 7 years old on a beautiful morning, building something wonderful. And I missed it. Not photographically. I could have captured a dozen beautiful images of him that day. I missed it humanly. I was there, but not there. Present, but not present. I was experiencing that moment through a viewfinder instead of with my eyes, with my heart. The irony isn't lost on me. I spent a lifetime helping other people preserve their memories, and I forgot to make my own. I still have my cameras. I still take pictures, but I'm more careful now about when and why. Last month, my neighbor's granddaughter was playing in her yard, chasing bubbles her mother was blowing. The light was beautiful. The moment was pure joy. My hands reached automatically for my camera. Then I stopped. I sat on my porch and just watched. I watched her run and laugh and pop bubbles with the intensity that only children have. I watched her mother's face, the way she smiled seeing her daughter so happy. I watched the whole scene with my eyes, not through a lens. I didn't take a single photograph, and I remember every detail. Tommy calls me sometimes from Portland. We video chat, which still feels like magic to me. He shows me his new room, his school projects, the treehouse David built in their backyard. He's happy there, I think, or learning to be. But sometimes when we're talking, I see something in his expression that reminds me of that morning at the beach, that focus, that intensity. It happens when he's excited about something, when he forgets to be guarded. And in those moments, I don't think about taking a screenshot. I just pay attention. I just watch my grandson's face and listen to his voice and try to be completely there, because I learned something too late, but maybe not too late to matter. The best moments can't be captured, they can only be lived. I think about that castle he built, how beautiful it was, how temporary, how he knew it would be gone by evening and built it anyway, how he poured himself into something that wouldn't last. Maybe that's what all the best moments are. Sandcastles, beautiful and temporary and meant to be experienced, not preserved. I never took that photograph, but I still have the memory of him building, of his small hands working so carefully in the sand, of the light on his face. It's not perfect, it's not frozen, but it's mine, and maybe that's enough. I keep thinking about all the other photographs I didn't take. Not because I was being artistic or waiting for the perfect moment, but because I was too busy or too distracted or too tired. The hundreds of ordinary moments that seem too small to matter. Tommy learning to tie his shoes, tongue poking out in concentration. Kate reading him bedtime stories, both of them falling asleep together on his little bed. David teaching him to throw a baseball in our backyard, patient and gentle in a way that made me see why Kate fell in love with him. All these moments I witnessed, but didn't really see. I have entire albums from family gatherings, but almost nothing from the quiet Tuesday evenings. I documented holidays and birthdays, but not the morning Tommy helped me make scrambled eggs, getting more eggshell in the pan than egg. I captured smiles and poses, but not the way he hummed while he colored, completely lost in his crayons. My house is full of photographs, professional ones from my career, family portraits on every wall. But the images that haunt me are the ones that exist only in my memory, the ones I lived instead of captured. There's a box in my closet filled with undeveloped film from the last few years. Rolls and rolls of pictures I never bothered to print. I keep meaning to take them to the lab, but I never do. I think I'm afraid of what I'll find. More evidence of moments I was present for, but didn't truly experience. Last week, Kate called to tell me Tommy made the honor roll. I could hear the pride in her voice, the way she's rebuilt her life in ways she never expected to. She's stronger now than she was during the marriage. The divorce that I thought would break her actually freed her. He wants to spend the whole summer with you next year, she said, not just a few weeks, the whole summer. 2 months, 8 weeks, 56 days with my grandson. In the past, I would have already started planning the photographs I'd take, the places we'd go, the memories we'd capture, beach trips and baseball games, and all the moments I'd document to prove we had a good time. But I'm thinking differently now. I'm thinking about teaching him to make my mother's pierogi recipe, the one I never had time to share with Kate, about letting him help me tend the small garden behind my house, about sitting on the porch in the evenings, listening to him tell me about his friends and his dreams, and whatever 10-year-olds think about when they're not being photographed. I want to show him my dark room, let him see how pictures come to life in the developer solution, but more than that, I want to teach him that some things are more beautiful when they're not preserved, that some moments are meant to dissolve like sugar in water, to become part of who we are rather than something we look at. I've started leaving my camera in the house more often, when I take my daily walk through the neighborhood, when I sit in the park and feed the ducks, when my neighbor Mrs. Chen stops by with soup she made too much of. These aren't moments that need to be documented. They're moments that need to be lived. Yesterday, I was sitting on my front porch when a little girl from down the street rode by on her bicycle. She was maybe 6, wobbling slightly, tongue out in concentration just like Tommy used to do. Her father was running beside her, one hand hovering near her back, ready to catch her if she fell. She didn't fall. She kept pedaling, getting steadier with each rotation of the wheels, and when she finally felt confident enough, she called out to her father, "Let go, Daddy, let go." He did. She rode about 20 feet on her own before stopping and turning around, her face radiant with pride and surprise. "I did it," she called. "Did you see? I did it." Her father ran to her, swept her into a hug, spun her around while she giggled. It was the kind of moment that makes you believe in the goodness of the world, the kind of moment I would have photographed once, framed and hung on my wall. Instead, I sat on my porch and watched and smiled. I let the moment exist without trying to own it. I let it be theirs, completely and fully theirs. Because I'm learning, maybe too late, but maybe just in time, that the most beautiful things in life aren't meant to be captured. They're meant to be witnessed. They're meant to change us just by being present for them. The photograph I never took of Tommy that day, I realize now it was never mine to take. That moment belonged to him, to his pure concentration and joy in creating something beautiful. My job wasn't to capture it. My job was to be there, to witness it, to let it become part of the love between us. I'm 82 years old and I'm finally learning to see. I'm 82 years old and I've spent 60 years capturing other people's precious moments. Weddings, births, first steps, graduations. I thought I understood what mattered. I was wrong, because while I was busy making memories for everyone else, I forgot to live my own. And the one photograph I should have taken, the one that mattered most, I never pressed the shutter.